Fractional gold is a contentious topic here in the stacking community. Many elitist channels and people tell you to never buy fractional gold. Well, just like the world, this topic isn't black or white, but neutral, gray. I will attempt to make the case why everyone should own fractional gold. Coming up. Hey everyone, welcome to Campbell's Coins. The proponents for only buying full ounce gold will say that fractional gold has a higher premium. That is very true. If you're buying from an online dealer, you're paying out the ass for fractional gold, especially if it's a 1/10 of an ounce piece or smaller. I've often said it's a good idea to save up and buy full ounce gold, but I recognize the many benefits fractional gold offers. I own lots of fractional gold for these benefits. I might piss off a few people with this next elitist sentence. I would stay away from anything less than a 1/10 of an ounce. The premiums below 1/10 of an ounce just skyrocket. For those asking about goldbacks, my answer is absolutely not. I won't go into it again, but if you want to watch my goldback videos, I have covered them in depth. Unless you can get these small gold pieces for close to spot or at spot pricing, I would stay away. It might seem alluring because you're able to own gold for such a reasonable rate compared to the full ounce, but you're paying a lot in premiums, and I have not found the fractional gold grams to be a great market. I've had these Valcambi 50 gram cards, and selling off the individual grams was just a painful, long process. Additionally, the serial number for the 50 gram and the 100 gram Valcambi sheets is stamped across the whole sheet. So if you remove one section, it removes the section that has part of the serial number. I ended up having to lower the price to go near spot to get rid of them. I'll go into it a little later in the video why I don't advocate for gold less than 1/10 of an ounce. Additionally, I'm excluding pre-33 gold from this conversation as I find 99% of these pieces to be the collectible side rather than the stacker necessity. When the price of gold shoots up, as it's done in the last month, fractional gold is a good buy in my opinion. When spot price was at $17.50 about 6 months ago, many 1/10 of an ounce pieces were selling for $210 to $230. The price was coming down, but that's basically where it was at. I think I saw a few Victory in the Pacific pieces going for $200, but for the most part, this size was selling for around $210. Quarter ounce gold eagles were $515. The premiums on fractional gold did not fall much, if at all, from its August 2020 highs. When gold shot over $2,000 per ounce this month, 1/10 of an ounce pieces were still $220 to $240 each. Quarter ounce gold eagles went to $550. Yes, if you price all these out to what you're paying for a full ounce, it's a lot over spot. But if you're unsure which direction gold is heading, whether it's up or down, buying fractional gold is a good place to still accumulate gold while taking that wait and see approach. I should mention these prices were sourced from my LCS as I purchased them. If you're buying fractional gold from an online dealer, prices will be much higher. If the time comes when we are transacting in gold, say maybe in an emergency or something worse, you'll want fractional gold instead of having to use your full ounce. Emergency situations can be localized, not necessarily a worldwide event. As an example, I recently heard of a Ukrainian working in the United States. He flew back to Ukraine at the start of the Russian invasion to be with his family and to get them out. He could only get to Moldova. To get into Ukraine, he traded his Rolex for a truck, drove in, and got his family out. Who knows if this story is true? I'm sure you've heard of folks doing something similar to escape Europe leading up to World War II. Hell, there's even a story about the Romanovs, and they had stitched gold and jewels into their dresses when they were escaping. I actually heard that most of the kids survived the onslaught of the shooting because The bullets were bouncing off all the jewels and gold that they had stitched inside their clothing. I also have heard of a woman using her gold necklace in South America to pay for her food and lodging, breaking off links of the necklace from town to town to escape her situation. Gold offers the holder transportable wealth. Currently, in a southeastern mining region of Venezuela, they use gold to transact because their fiat currency, the bolivar, has hyperinflated. They use gold flakes to pay for everything from a haircut to lodging. Yes, these examples are localized and only occur during a short time period, but it's amazing how this quote-unquote outdated metal like gold is still accepted over such a long period of time. Whenever I talk about situations like these, the prepper community comes out in full force and leaves donkey-brained comments about how transacting in precious metals will just get you robbed or killed. For some reason, in their idiotic scenarios, those persons transacting in precious metals, A, don't have the means to protect themselves, and B, are extremely careless and just flaunt these precious metals all over the place. I agree with the premise of individuals being targeted for transacting in precious metals, but I think caution and discretion would prevent a lot of painting of a target on one's back. Let's use this example though, and this prepper's wet dream. If I'm seen using gold and silver for purchases and I'm targeted for robbery, I believe it is less threatening to have a couple tiny pieces of gold and a few silver dimes than it is having a full ounce of gold. I could downplay my overall holdings with these tiny, very concealable pieces. I could easily hide my gold in some sort of secret lining in my shirt or my shoes and just show the dirty dimes that I carry in my pocket. It's very easy to explain that I just found these dirty dimes on the ground somewhere. I believe one should be aware of their surroundings and trained with firearms to prevent and defend oneself from ever being in this type of situation. Speaking of tiny and discretion, you can travel with fractional gold without much issue. Traveling in a plane with full ounce gold coins or bars really stands out, and it could raise an eyebrow or two. Not too many regular coins in circulation are that size, but fractional gold coins are the size of modern coins in circulation and doesn't look suspicious. Tenth of an ounce gold eagles are slightly smaller than pennies, and quarter ounce gold eagles are slightly bigger than nickels. Let's say you don't live in a region where you have to transact in gold. I would still want a portion of my stack to be in fractional gold. The logic I used in those previous scenarios also applies to selling your gold to pay for unexpected expenses. You don't want to sell a full ounce when you need only $800. I can sell off my fractional pieces much faster as well. If I get strapped for cash, fractional gold comes to the rescue quickly. I think there might be an event in our lifetime where precious metals are used for transactions. If this does happen, I don't think we will see $2,000 per ounce or even $3,000 per ounce gold. I think it will be much higher. You might be asking, well, if that's true, wouldn't I want gold grams and those really small pieces of gold? I don't think so. Gold would be used for much larger transactions, and silver would be used for food, lodging, and other smaller purchases. Let's say gold goes to levels that some people predict, $5,000 per ounce, $10,000 per ounce, $20,000 per ounce. More people exist in the pool who can buy the tenth of an ounce size than the amount of folks who can afford the $20,000 gold. Not only can more folks afford the tenth of an ounce size, but if the price becomes this high, I wouldn't want to transact with a full ounce when the transactional value is much lower. I would also want something that tells the other person in this transaction what the coin is. Gold equals give the gold weight, and they are very recognizable. Getting back to reality, I like fractional gold for the fact that when the price of gold falls, my premium remains somewhat intact. I could sell to an LCS for a tiny hit, but if I sell to a private party, I can get what I paid for it, and maybe a little bit more. The price remains fairly static. Of course, this depends on where you buy your gold and how far gold price rises or falls. If you're paying $280 for a 1/10 of an ounce gold eagle on APMEX, it might be hard to make that premium back. That is why I continually advocate buying from your LCS, because they offer the lower premiums compared to most online dealers. This doesn't mean that online dealers don't have the occasional good rate. I've just found my local coin shop has deals on a more consistent basis. I also like fractional gold for its liquidity. My buyer pool for a 1/10 of an ounce gold eagle is much larger than my buyer pool for a 1 ounce gold eagle. I can sell my 1/10 of an ounce eagles in the time it takes to snap my fingers. For my other fractional gold, I might have to lower my price to get it moving. One of my final points comes to funding. I like variety, and buying fractional allows one to get a variety of coins and bars across private and public mints. If I like a design, but I don't want to buy the full ounce version, I can typically buy that design on a smaller coin. I'm still able to collect what I like without having to put out a lot of money for it. These kookaburras are one such example. I love this design, and the 1/10 of an ounce piece allows me to enjoy it without shelling out a lot for the full ounce. Not all your funds are tied up in a collector piece either, which is a niche market and could be difficult to move if you had to sell it. Which fractional gold should you get? Obviously, buy what you want. Do whatever makes you happy. But if you're looking for advice, I would not bother with fractional bars or anything less than 1/10 of an ounce size. Gold is very dense metal, and a gram is pretty small. The 1/10 of an ounce is just large enough to make out the design, and you can actually feel the heft of the gold. Smaller weights are just too tiny for me. Save up and get at least a 1/10 of an ounce size. I'm a big fan of the 1/4 ounce gold eagles, a thicker, heavier coin over the 1/10 of an ounce with slightly smaller premiums. I love gold eagles because they are so popular and liquid. If I lived in a different country, the gold eagle would not be the better choice, so pick accordingly to where you reside. How much fractional gold should you own? This is a tough question, and it might vary from person to person. I think I have over 5 ounces in fractional modern gold bullion, from maple leafs to pant bars to gold eagles. I think the right amount is around 2 ounces. 2 ounces of fractional gold should be enough for you to get out of most urgent financial situations without having to liquidate your full ounce pieces. I feel 2 ounces is also appropriate for those other situations like escaping a volatile event. Fractional gold is great because it allows someone on a budget to own gold. It's transportable wealth, concealable, and very liquid. Fractional gold retains much of its premium even when the gold price goes up or down $100. My favorite type of gold to stack are the gold eagles for all these reasons. It's also my go-to type of gold to purchase when the direction of gold is uncertain. I hope you all like this video. Your time is your most precious asset, and I appreciate you spending it with me. If you're interested in other topics like this one, check out the other videos I have on my channel. Thank you all for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.